exchanges came together and put our heads together and said, let's get to the bottom of this. What are these guys so afraid of? What are the real objections? Maybe we can try to figure something out. And we discovered there were a few kind of really key points to all of this. One of them is just infrastructure. Being able to keep track of all of the comings and goings. It's hard enough to deal with income tax in India, so now adding this thing called cryptocurrency into it was really tricky. And because there's a lack of general regulatory policies and frameworks throughout the world, where do you start? Where do you begin with this stuff? It's so difficult. And then on the user side, it's a scam. There's this problem where the lack of understanding means that people can get taken advantage of. They can lose money, which comes back to that education piece. And then on the banking side, is it gambling? Some really strict rules around gambling in India. So is it the same thing or is it different? So we involved each other and the government in these conversations to understand where the problems are. And a big part of that was education, to say, look, we're doing everything we can to make sure that we know who our customers are. To become a customer, you have to do full AML and KYC. We'll do all of your verification of your bank, of your address, of all of these things. So we were able to show that actually it's not that scary. We're not a bunch of cowboys running around just taking money here and there. We're trying to do something and do it in the best possible way. So by doing all of this and building these world-class products, we can show that this is a legitimate industry. The market is huge. Already in India, there's $6.6 billion of crypto asset holdings. That's up 400% in the last year, and it's just going to keep going. People want crypto. People want access to this stuff in India. And think about India, it's been the outsourcing capital for the last 15 years. The rest of the world has asked India to build their software. So over those 15 years, people have learned a trick or two about how to build software and how to build companies. So we have some world-class teams, some world-class technology innovations, and a thirst for Bitcoin. And if we look over the last few years, since 2015, 2016, the startup economy scene in India has just been exploding. So many unicorns are coming out of India now. Because we have the people there, we have the knowledge, they know how to build this stuff. An amazing talent. So if we take all of those things together with our experience from the fintech world, put a huge focus onto security, and make products that are user-centric, we're really focusing on making it as simple as possible. And educating our user, that's what we do. And as part of the education piece and as part of our core values, we don't just want to do the exchange thing, we want to kind of broaden our product suite. We've built an incubator that we call Zeb Labs, where we're trying to, again, build out products, services, and incubate these ideas that will make the world a better place. So solar BTC, renewable energy to mine Bitcoin. So we created, me personally, with Prashant, our head of R&D, he's around here somewhere with his team. They created a solar-powered mining rig for Bitcoin. That's so cool. You can put it out anywhere that you get sunlight, and now you're generating Bitcoin with renewable energy. You're just printing money. Very slowly, but you're printing money. ZepPay also created the first women's DAO. It's a women's-only DAO. You can only join if you're a woman, you can only vote in a DAO if you're a woman. And this DAO is used to derive or define the products that get the ideas that get worked on within Zeb Labs. And this is all around trying to promote gender equality in tech and in crypto. Especially, tech is a male-dominated world. India has been a very kind of male-focused and male-dominated culture. So again, we're trying to equalize the playing field, that accessibility side of things. And then another thing we've been building is Zeblitics. So blockchain analysis. If you've mined some solar BTC and you have this renewable energy Bitcoin, how do you prove that that came from solar? You need some way of tracing it back. So Zeblitics is a service that we're creating where we can do this kind of tracing. So we have that traceability of provenance to show this was mined from renewable energy. It sounds simple, but it's pretty tricky. So the title of this was, what is the future of cryptocurrency? cryptocurrency in India. And we don't know 100%. From what we've seen, there's been a lot of difficulties and challenges. But one thing we're absolutely sure of is that the market is huge. Everybody wants to be in cryptocurrency. Everybody wants to own cryptocurrency. And we have managed to have those grown-up conversations with the authorities to say, look, we want compliance, we want regulation, we want to do this in a way that everybody can understand, and a way that is legitimized. And this is the future of cryptocurrency in India. It's huge, it's exploding, we're just getting started. This is day one. From here, it's only going up and up. We saw 400% growth in cryptocurrency assets in the last year, and it's growing exponentially. So for those of you who haven't been in India, who haven't seen what's going on in the Indian markets, you should pay attention because it's growing massively. Thank you everybody for staying around and staying late into the evening to watch this. We're here in booth number 34. Come and talk to us about our products and the kind of stuff we're doing in our Zen Labs. Thank you.
Our panel is exchanges. My name is Anna Tutova, I'm CEO of Coins Telegram, and we have a group of companies. We have crypto fund, news media, and PR agency. And let our speakers to introduce themselves and tell more about the exchanges and what their focus areas are.
Okay, I'm the CEO of Local Trade. The Local Trade is a very ambitious team. Brilliant team of developers heading to top 15 exchanges next year, and we are preaching the simple user experience, as you know from my speech 20 minutes ago. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi everyone, my name is Ignis Doredas. I'm the head of communications from Bybit. Bybit is a leading global exchange. We are pretty top there when it comes to the volumes and open interest, especially in Bitcoin and Ether, the large cap ones. And really happy to be here with my fellow panelists and looking forward to all the insights.
Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Shantanu Saxena. I'm the founder of Encryptis. Encryptis focuses on impartial advisory on crypto projects. We help companies right from licensing to actually launching business models across Middle East and Africa. Predominantly, we work with various other crypto exchanges, global crypto exchanges, I should say. And our role is to tell them with strategy, with commercials, with building business models, etc. Thank you.
My name is Khalifa. I'm the CEO of Garantis International Exchange. We are an Estonian company, regulated. We are an exchange platform where clients can avail the services of having cryptocurrency exchange, buying, selling, fiats. We will be expanding very shortly, and that could be Q1 2020 in United Arab Emirates under regulated license NFT in Abu Dhabi, and we'll be also licensed in Dubai under the OTC and the currency trading license in Dubai.
Thank you for introduction. So let's start with the first question, and I would like to talk about user friendliness of the crypto exchanges. So what are your steps to make it easier for novices to use the exchange? So let's start with you, Aaron.
As you know from my speech 20 minutes ago, if you're being here, the best way is approach the, let's say, very complicated instruments in a manner like fintech revolutionize the banking market. So what we need right now is that brilliant approach of simplifying things to the user, giving the user the simplest access possible, one-click experience, because all of us as a crypto space guys don't understand the level of hardness for general public just to understand what we are doing. We still have a lot of opportunities just to simplifying things and to bring the brilliance to our market.
How Bybit does is really We build the best product and we make sure it's always reliable. Customers really like to come to us because they know this is an exchange that they can really rely on. Doesn't matter when, doesn't matter what they want to trade, doesn't matter how volatile the market is. They always have the best tool and the best matching engine, the most reliable throughput and everything. So I think lots of times it's just we make sure that the product is manufactured with care, prepared with care, and customers will just come in and find it useful, and then they will basically just start to use it.
I think I will echo what my fellow panelists said, but I think what really makes a difference is if you're a crypto exchange, ideally you should be investing more money on your product manager rather than investing a lot of money on your sales team. Because if your product is good, if the user experience and the user journey is good, you have won half the battle. And what generally we have seen companies doing the biggest mistake is, of course, KYC is a very important element. But at what stage you prompt a user to do KYC and how easy or difficult that process is actually distinguishes a good and a bad user experience, right? So I think the most important thing is the product experience. When a user comes onto your platform, they are there for a purpose. What is the purpose? Buy or sell cryptocurrency? So it's just how your options are laid out on your exchange. So in my opinion, these are the important elements, and especially if it's for new users, I think education is very important. They don't know why is it like USDT has got ERC only, etc. So there should be things very nicely laid out, and then things should be simple. A user who is just starting a crypto journey doesn't understand what's the meaning of a deposit and a withdrawal. How about if we just say give and take for them to make it convenient and easy for them?
We at Garantex look at our clients being our partners. And before we present anything to our clients, we consider ourselves to be clients. What is an easy way for us to get accessibility, ease of transactions, ease of process? Novice clients they need education. Some of them, they can go to the online, get the information about different currencies that are available in the market. But from our platform, we have taken the steps in creating artificial intelligence systems, solutions where the KYC is being done in very easy steps, but still meeting the requirements of the regulators, and also to provide easy tools, friendly to the clients, through application, website, where they can get the service that they're trying to avail. And this is being designed to the different clients. We are not designing it for a super smart or for an unknowledgeable person. We're taking the mid-range. So from all type of categories, they can avail these kind of services. Going and seeing this in the market, today a lot of exchanges are available, and a lot of systems are available there. But having something that is simplified, that could have a similarity to others, this gives an ease and a comfort to any client who's availing this service.
Thank you for sharing your approach, and let's move to the next question. And it's about security of the exchanges, and we have seen a lot of hacks of different exchanges. So what steps are you taking to ensure the security of the exchange and of the funds?
Definitely it's about approach to programming. Everybody knows that when you send something to the moon, and during the lunar program, you double check, triple check everything. You have extensive standardization, creating the code, and extensive standardization of every part of audit of that code in an audit. Also, we are working with the brightest minds and the biggest technical audits teams on the market, like Hacking Foundation, that help us to make sure that what we are doing is have the upper standard, the highest standards possible. everybody knows that people make mistakes, and we're trying to do our best to protect our users and make the best code possible. As we send the rocket ship to the moon.
Thank you. Guys?
Yeah. Security is something that we really put a lot of thought into, and one thing that we think kind of like our reputation precedes us. We spend about 25% of our budget on security. That is industry leading. Industry players, they usually spend 10 to 15%. And in terms of the headcount, we actually have close to 200 people working just on security alone. And that would involve like risk management, that would include kind of like just security in terms of the IT system, in terms of like we have blockchain engineers, and lots of times it's with customer experience, with like what Bell just talked about, KYC, you always have this trade-off. Do you want to over-index security and kind of like add sacrificing customer experience? You don't. But what we do is we kind of like just constantly tweaking to make sure we have a optimal kind of like allocation. It's like a game. You kind of like have only so many points. You can allocate to security, you can allocate to user experience. There are a bunch of trades, you want to cover them all. And we are constantly reviewing and making sure that customers can really kind of come to us and they can see what we've been doing, and they can just see from the actual result of our work, and really appreciate the thought and the resources, the effort we put into the work.
Absolutely. I think especially on the security part that you mentioned, having engineers really makes a big difference, the good ones actually. Let me just go back and talk mainly about the basics. I think in the world of technology, things can definitely go wrong. But the whole question is, okay, if things go wrong, what is it that you would do in order to safeguard your users' funds? We know last year, in fact, 3 major exchanges had put withdrawal restrictions because of internal controls. But we know of also one of the major exchanges where the users were able to deposit and withdraw just because they had the right controls in place. So I feel the contingency plan and your evaluation policies, where you can evaluate what the risk is and how things can be managed, plays an important role. The other thing is definitely regulations. If you are working and operating in a regulated environment, you are bound to be more restricted in terms of your activities, in terms of the products that you can offer, but at the same time, the user funds can also stay safe at all times. And of course, something as simple as having restriction on withdrawals. What happens in today's world? For example, if a user whose account is KYC and the wallet is whitelisted, they can even withdraw $1 million. But what happens if crypto exchanges come up with a policy and they say, okay, if you withdraw up to $500, this is the 2FA that you redo. If you do over $500,000, this is 2FA, but with an additional security that you do. So maybe we just have to think out of the box and see how best the user's interest can be taken care of.
Security is the most important thing in any kind of business that you do, especially when it comes to the third-party funds or crowdfunding. Crypto exchange is similar to a crowdfunding, and therefore there should be a lot of steps that have been taken for that one. We at Garantex, we have got internal servers and also we've got blockchain, online blockchain. Why we have taken these steps? First of all, to have the control over the information that is going, the history of the panels, history of the wallets, the transactions that are happening, and retrieving information if it's lost by our clients, to support them in order to be a part of our customer service. But what is more important than that, in system-wise, is the blockchain, online blockchain that we are using, because any kind of disruption that happens during that, our clients will be protected at that time and will not be erased. There are a lot of securities which are raised, and a trusted blockchain system is very important to have this platform. The second step, which we have taken also in order to protect also ourselves and our clients' from any kind of loss is the cyber edge insurance. Insurance is simply, it says protecting yourself against the loss or reinstating the losses up to what it was prior to the loss. So therefore, providing the 3-layer security protection for our client, we have secured our clients' wallets, their portfolios, their assets, and we have an ongoing research and development team on board where they are looking to the best solutions in the market where we can develop and provide better solutions to what is existing today.
Thank you. And Ignace touched the question of KYC, and we have seen the recent crackdown on Binance, the largest cryptocurrency exchange, that they stopped offering trading in Singapore. They as well withdraw the derivatives offerings in the UK, Germany, and Brazil. So I would like to discuss the question of regulations for cryptocurrency exchanges. How do you see this environment currently?
Actually, I love that question. I spent a lot of years in the crypto market trying to structure the relationship with regulators, and being part of the biggest KYC and AML projects on the market. I'm have a very good understanding what's going on, how to structure these relationships. First of all, being as a local trade, being partners with Crystal blockchain, the solution, creating the instruments for the special forces, creating the instruments for regulators to actually manage that regulations. I understand how to create that relationship in a way we could be in compliance, because it's not just our actions. It's our legal team who explain, and our security professionals who explain regulators how to manage that market. And we, with that effort, we understand what to do, because a lot of things is self-regulations. That self-regulations with ability to explain to the regulator what's going on and how we are trying to implement the broader understanding of KYC and AML procedures in our sometimes very complicated instruments. That is our strategy, and we have a successful story of working with regulators all over the world, and as an international project, we have doing a lot of effort through our own power, through our legal team, and through our partners like a Crystal blockchain to structure that market, not just for us, for any big player. So actually, the way you could prevent and let's say create the great relationship with regulator is self-regulation, and then ability to explain. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think so. Like, regulation is something that, as a centralized exchange, as a business, you cannot ignore, and we really think progressive regulation should be welcomed and embraced. Because in a way, we see kind of like our vision is not too different from the regulators. We want the customers to be protected, and we want this industry to continue to thrive and grow and for the benefit of everyone. If we have kind of differences, it's always in the approach. Regulators, they tend to use a tool from a toolbox that is like half a century old, and sometimes those tools are just showing their age when we already have amazing technology in blockchain, when all the transactions are recorded and cannot be altered, and you have full transparency. So I think kind of when it comes to regulation and KYC, I personally, I really think we can take a crypto native approach and just, instead of using technologies, guardrails that are invented for a different time, for a different set of tools, a different set of technologies, we should really look at what do we have in this current toolbox. As a centralized exchange, as I said, we are compliant in every jurisdiction that we operate in. We actually would really welcome just more clarity in regulation. So we know exactly what we can do, we know exactly what we cannot do, and then it would actually make everyone's life a lot easier. But I think what my fellow panelists said is very important, that regulators always take in the feedback from industry players who actually understand the technology, who actually understand the industry, because we really think for there to be a kind of regulatory framework that can allow the industry to thrive, you really need experts, you really need people who understand how it works, to be sitting out there, to be making comments, to be helping to create this framework.
Well, I'm sure I'll end up echoing what my other fellow panelists said, but I would love to use the term balanced regulations. If regulations are important, but until we have balanced regulations, there is no way will we achieve our objectives. Neither the regulator will achieve the objective, nor the companies will be able to achieve the objectives. So that's the first thing. And in fact, when a client approaches us and they say that they run a crypto exchange or an OTC business, the first thing we tell them is, which countries are you looking at? Because until and unless you understand that as a business model, there is no way can you suggest the client the right approach. And we always recommend the client, don't look at one jurisdiction, look for multiple jurisdictions. Don't just think that you have a beautiful idea and you want to go out and launch a product and you will be out there. I mean, we know of some successful exchanges who launched tokenized stocks, for example, out of nowhere. And these tokenized stocks were taken down by BaFin from the regulators in Germany, wherein they said, what you're trying to achieve is absolutely wrong. You can do it. On the other side, we have some other exchanges who did the same product, but with proper licenses. So I feel, just don't keep the product idea in your mind, take that out, but at the same time, think about what the lawmakers are thinking about your beautiful idea. So a balanced regulation would, in my opinion, would play a very, very crucial role.
It's a difficult thing for me now to speak about this because I come from a background of a regulator. Like as short as 5 months ago, I was a regulator myself. Being on both sides of the fence, what I can say about this one, the companies need to be close to the regulator. Regulation is being changed every day. Why the regulator exists is to protect the public. Simple. Licensing is there to protect other people who are taking these services. The governments are putting these regulations depending on the different geopolitical requirements of that region, country, financial needs, experience, past history. This is all gone from there. The only best practice any company can do is to be in a live conversation all the time, close to the regulator, have an open conversation with them to know what are the new ones, regulations are coming. And the best way to do that is to have a good legal advisor, or to have a good advisor who understands the regulations and the structure of the regulations. Some people that can come and say, I have the X type of licensing. Okay, X type of licensing is giving you X type of activities, but is it sufficient to practice those kind of activities? Because this is a very important and very crucial understanding that any company has to have this. Because if you're practicing like an activity and you're not licensed for it, definitely you will be penalized from the regulator to the extent of closure, losing your clients, public funds will be going, and it could go to the extent of criminal proceedings with that. So therefore, the only solution or the only advice I can give is be close to the regulator, have an open talk, listen to them, talk to them, let them understand what are you doing. Don't make it vague or ununderstandable business. There is no secret between you and the regulator. You need to be an open book with them. Therefore, they can advise you to have the proper licensing, the proper structure. They can guide you to the proper structure that you require. And with that, you will be protecting your clients and your own assets.
Absolutely. Regulator is like a doctor. If you don't take the problem, you won't get the solution.